Good morning, Sean Campus, and everybody else who's dropping in to listen to our book study from the trash man to the cash man. We'll go over a chapter. Probably we might make it through two chapters today. Um, Chapter 10 is Find a Mentor Guide Who Has Already Found Their Fortune. If we go back really quick, in the previous week, we were discussing to know what business you're really in and the focus of being able to market as a business, and how we don't necessarily realize that we're in that business no matter what we're doing. We are in that business if we're trying to make money at some rate. All right, so chapter 10, find a tour guide who has already found their fortune. In the arena of money, I have found an amazing phenomenon. People who are broke will not take financial advice from people who are rich, but they will take financial advice from people who are broke. One of the greatest keys to becoming successful in your financial life in general is to find a mentor who has already found their fortune. If you want to become a millionaire, if you want to live the life of the rich and famous, you have to make sure that you find a mentor guide who has already found their fortune. This is critical because these mentors know how to take you to where the fortune is. They can also show you some great ways to get your fortune that you wouldn't have figured out in a lifetime. So find somebody who has found the way and follow them. If they ask you to do something or give you some advice that doesn't make sense to you, ask them to clarify. If you still don't understand, do it anyway. After it works, you will understand more clearly because you will have a brand new perspective. I'm not suggesting that you follow people blindly, but if what your mentor and teachers are saying to you doesn't make sense, it could be because they are looking at the subject of making money from a totally different perspective. That perspective usually won't make sense to you until you learn to look at things from the same side of money they do. When you don't understand what your mentors and teachers are showing you, just trust it until you can see it. Then one day you will trust it because you see it yourself. So that's an important concept because a lot of times, not just with money, with a lot of things, um, our perspectives and the reasons that we're in those spaces that we're looking for help is because we've used our what makes sense to us and done it that way, right? And so what makes sense to us, if it cashed out, then it would already be cashing out. We probably wouldn't be looking for somebody else. Find somebody who has found their fortune and get them to take you by the hand and lead you into the financial promised land. Don't listen to your broke friends anymore. The ones that try to convince you that everything is a scam. Stop listening to your broke friends who have tried anything, who have never tried anything or never made any real money and still work for the man. If you don't want to have a job for the rest of your life, don't take financial advice from people who have a job. Every so often, I'll have somebody from an investment firm call me. Usually, they have young employees who are trying to sell me some investments. I'll ask them two questions that invariably get them a little ticked off because they want one thing and I want something else. The first question I ask is, do you own this investment? Most of the time, the answer is no. The second question I ask them is, are you a millionaire? They often ask, what difference does that make? Well, the difference it makes is this. I'm asking you the question, are you a millionaire? No, I'm not. Then I make this recommendation to them. I want you to go invest in the same investment you are recommending to me. Then come back to sell it to me after it works for you because I don't take financial advice from people who are not millionaires. I know that someone who has a job selling investments is making 50 to 60,000 a year hasn't found their fortune yet. I have figured out the secrets to making a fortune. I have not had a regular job for 12 years. Therefore, when I get financial advice, I get it from people who are making a whole lot more money than me. I will soon have to start getting advice from billionaires. I don't take financial advice from people who are struggling, people who are broke, people who are making less money than me, or people who are making the same amount of money that I make. I may occasionally get ideas from people who make the same amount I do, but I don't take the financial advice from them. I like people who have been there, done that, get 10 shirts to take me by the hand and lead me by the hand so I can get my t-shirts. Find a mentor who has already found their fortune and get them to take you by the hand and lead you to where they found it. That is one of the most important things that you will ever do in your financial journey. So it's a real simple concept to me, like to be able to find those people. And you might say, like, I don't know anybody who has money while we're reading this book. And so together, like we've kind of have found somebody who is in the millionaire club and who is leading you. And if you'll allow it and do the things that are being asked, that to me is a start. And as you grow your flow, you move closer to having those, being able to have those conversations or find those people. Looks like we got plenty of time to go on to the next chapter. Let's hit it. Chapter 11. You often, or you have no competition. The next thing you want to do is understand that you have no competition. Most people believe that there is so much competition that they are afraid to even try. I was speaking this past year at my children's school in the entrepreneurial class. One of the questions a student asked me was, Mr. Golden, what do you do about competition? My answer shocked this young lady. I told her there is no competition. I have no competition in business whatsoever. In fact, I have friends who are in the same business that I am. I recommend their products and promote them and their products to the people who are in my database because I'm not worried about someone stealing my customers. Why? I have no competition. The reason I have no competition is because I don't base my financial model on the current philosophy of economics. This model basically states that competition is basically good because it makes businesses better, because it causes people to excel in business. While I do believe that we ought to seek to excel in business, I don't believe that there is any competition. Here's what I mean. Most people believe in an economic pie. You've heard people talk about getting their piece of the pie. Some people don't want to become wealthy because they have bought into this philosophy. They believe that the economy is like a pie, and the more they get, the less there is for anybody else. Or the more that those mean, or the more that those mean, bad, rich people get, the less there is for the rest of us. Guess what, folks? The economy is not a pie. The economy is more like a fruit. You say a fruit? What are you talking about? Well, a pie has a finite number of pieces. If there are 7 pieces of pie and I take one, there are only 6 left over for whoever's left. If I take 2 of them, there are only 5 left. But if I take 6 pieces of pie, then there's only 1 left. If the economy is like a pie, it would mean that the more money I make, the less money there is for everybody else. But that's not how life is. That's not how the economy really works. Nothing in nature really works this way. It would take a person with lack mentality to create such a system, and it would take people with lack mentality to buy into it. The economy doesn't work like this because the economy is not a pie. Abundance is not limited, it's finite. The difference is that people who believe in limited abundance truly believe that if they make too much, there won't be enough for other people. I believe that the more everybody makes, the more there is for everybody to make. For instance, let's say that we come to an apple tree and it has a dozen apples on it. I take an apple and eat it. People with a lack mentality would say, Myron, there are less apples now because you ate the apple. I say, no, there are potentially many more apples because I ate the apple, because I'm going to take these 6 seeds in my hand and I'm going to plant them in the ground. They're going to become apple trees. Now I have 6 more apple trees and they each produce 100 apples a year. So because I ate the apple in just a few years, there will literally be 600 more apples per year than there were before I ate the apple. My understanding of infinite abundance is because I make more money, the more there is for everybody to make. For instance, when I used to be broke, I was so poor that poor people felt sorry for me. It was not uncommon for me to buy a car for $50 and drive it around. When I drove that car around, I never put it in the shop. I never took it to the car wash. I always washed it by hand. I never took it to the dealership to get serviced. I couldn't afford it. The only person that benefited from my $50 car was me and the person I gave the $50 to. Now I drive around a brand new Mercedes and a 2006 Mercedes R500. My wife drives a 2006 Cadillac Escalade. Those cars cost considerably more than the $50. I no longer wash my own car. Now I pay anywhere from $20 to $50 to have my cars washed. I never took my $50 car to a car wash, but now the car wash is making more money because I have more money. Now, when my cars need servicing, I put them in the shop. Now the dealership makes more money. They also made more money when I bought the new cars. There are more people in the equation who are all making more money because I am. Everybody benefits. Literally everybody who comes in contact with me makes more money because I make more money. The economy really does work just like eating fruit off a tree. If you ate it and then you plant it, more grows. If I make more money and spend more some of that money, everybody that I spend money with makes more money. It is easy to understand that the concept of infinite abundance. The more you make, the more there is for everybody to make. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoy your day, and we will see you next week.